This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. Restoration business owners probably are going to sell their business, or at least that's the hope, right? For so many restoration business owners, it's their retirement plan. It's what makes their retirement a reality. Without a liquidity event, without a sale, they might not have the type of retirement they thought they were going to have. So that's why this topic is it's so important to me. It was a huge part of my retirement plan, and it is for a lot of my clients. So this topic of the 7 things that I see as really important when it comes to selling a business, even if you're not interested in selling the business for a long time, even if you're planning to pass the business to the next generation, it's still important because they're really just business fundamentals. Let's dive into it. Number 1 is the business runs without the owner being involved in the day-to-day operations. Now, there's different degrees of this, right? And even the best businesses, even the 8-figure businesses that I've worked with and that I'm aware of, that I just know through the industry who have sold, they still have a little bit of involvement here and there. But what I'm talking about is getting consistently from being really involved to just chipping away and getting less and less involved as the days, weeks, months, years go by, and you start to get out of field operations, talking with homeowners every day, and getting into more of coaching your team, leadership, vision, attending meetings for oversight. You're doing more checking, leading, developing, coaching, as opposed to being down in the weeds in the field. Number 2 is all about the financials. You've got to have really clean and explainable financials. It starts with a great chart of accounts. I have a sample. If you book a call with me, I'll go over it with you, send you a copy of my template, a chart of accounts specifically for restoration businesses. So your financials have to be clean and explainable. They've got to tell the story of what's going on in your business. You've got to be able to use them to talk about what's going on in your business. You have to be able to use them as a tool to get more profitable and also to talk about where the potential upside is for a new buyer. Think about this. Would you buy a business from somebody that had really messy, unexplainable financials? You're asking somebody to invest a significant amount of money, probably take a really big loan, probably an SBA loan. They're going to have to personally guarantee it. They're going to have to put their house on the line. Your financials not only have to be clean, explainable, show a great track record of profitability to the buyer, but also to the lender. This is huge. Number 3 is there's leadership beyond the owner. Think about this. If I'm planning to buy your business, one of the first things I'm going to ask is, what happens when you leave? What does a leadership team look like, right? Because if you, as the owner, leave the business and I buy it, do things fall apart? Or do you have a great leadership team in place? And that might only be, depending on the size of your business, that might only be 1 or 2 managers. It might be somebody who's awesome in the office, takes care of all the administrative stuff, and make sure all of that is operating really well. And it might be 1 person in the field. If you're an 8-figure business, your leadership team is going to look a whole lot different, right? So that focus on developing a leadership team. Number 4 is about your revenue is diversified. One of the things that you really don't want in your business is for a large percentage of the business to be coming from one source, right? You don't want 90% of your work coming from one third-party administrator, or you don't want 80% of your work from one sales rep on your team. You want to be diverse. Are you getting work from a wide variety of sources? SEO, organic, pay-per-click, LSA, plumbers, property managers, agents, adjusters. Are you getting work from a diverse group of people and sources? So important to getting the highest multiple you can get. Number 5, cash flow and accounts receivable. Do you have a process in place to create billing rapidly after the completion of jobs, and then the follow-up process that creates the inflow of the money that you're owed for the work that you've done? It's that simple. Are you tracking it? Do you have a process in place? Are you reporting on the DSO, days of sales outstanding? If you don't know what that acronym is, it sounds more complicated than it is. My clients all have a sheet called budget versus actual, where they're tracking that metric along with a bunch of other basic metrics in the business against a goal each month. So do you have a process in place? Are you tracking? Are you striving to improve your cash flow in a systematic way. Really important. Number 6 is, do you have documented and transferable systems? Your systems, process, procedures can be documented in simple Word documents, Google documents. They can be housed on a learning management system platform, an HR platform. They can be on Google Drive. They can be in something like ScreenPal or Loom. You can create anything that is done on a computer. You can create a screencast video. Do you have some repository for your systems and process? So I could walk into your business and I could get the answer for everything that you do in your business, how it's being done. Now, this is ever evolving, right? You're always hopefully looking for ways to improve your systems, your process, your accountability with your team, right? So this isn't a SOP for something and then you're done, right? Do you have a way of constantly, continuously improving your process, documenting it, and you would call that the ABC restoration way, right? That is so important to build trust, and also not only build trust with a potential buyer or ultimately the buyer, but also to ensure sustainability of the business. You don't want to walk away and have the business collapse for a bunch of reasons. Some financial, because you probably won't walk away with 100% of the sales price at closing, right? So part of it is financial, but the other, just as big, maybe bigger for some people, you don't want the business to crumble just because you left, right? So it's so important. Finally, number 7, the story is simple, right? So you're able to communicate what it is that you do, who you help, how you do it, and what you see as the upside, right? I want you to just take a minute and think about what's good in the business. What's good about being in this business? So often when I ask a client, and I struggle with this myself, when I ask a client what's good, what's going well, what's the best business news in the past week or the past 2 weeks since we last spoke? That's a hard question for people to answer because I think we're hardwired to just be looking for the problems, looking for how to solve the problems, being obsessed with the problems. But I think when you're getting ready to sell, and even now, there's so many benefits to be thinking about what's good, this positive mindset. What's good in the business? What is the future of the business? If I were to buy your business, what would you tell me if you still had the energy to really drive growth in the business? What is it that you'd be doing? A potential buyer loves to hear that. So those were 7 different kind of big topics, but all very important when it comes to not only the sale of your business in the future, but also for you to have a more profitable business today, a less chaotic business today, and ultimately a business that you'd be proud to sell or transfer to the next generation. If you want to talk about any of this, please book a call with me. Even if you're not interested in a coaching relationship right now, I'd love to meet you. Book a call with me. I promise you, you're going to come away with, I'm a big action item guy. You're going to come away with a couple of action items that you can put in place right away to improve your business. Thanks for watching.